Good evening. Good evening, honored guests, members of the clergy, the board, and officers of the Cathedral Club of Brooklyn. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you our distinguished members of the dais who are not part of our speaking program tonight. We're pleased and honored to have with us, starting on my left, we have the District Attorney of Kings County, the Honorable Eric Gonzalez, a tough prosecutor who is fighting hard every day to keep us safe in the borough of Brooklyn. And of course, the wonderful Barry Jacobson, a great supporter of this club. Barry is the chairman and CEO of Joseph P. Day Realty Corporation and was the Cathedral Club honoree in 2005. That was a nice dinner. I was here that night.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. As a matter of fact, I've been here for a lot of years. The first time I had the great privilege and pleasure of hosting the Cathedral Club dinner, I was blonde. On my right, we have Deacon Kevin McCormick. He is the superintendent of Catholic schools in the Diocese of Brooklyn and our 2024 principal speaker. Now, on the upper dais, over on the left, my left, your right, we have the Honorable Michael L. Yavinsky, the supervising judge of the Criminal Court of Kings County. Next, the Honorable John Ingram, a retired justice of the Supreme Court in Kings County. I believe that Judge Ingram also had the distinction of serving as an acting surrogate court judge. We welcome you very, very much. A current surrogate judge, County of Kings, a former Supreme Court Justice, the Honorable Rosemarie Montalbano, who is apparently very, very popular with lots of people. Somebody that's popular with me is just a great, great guy, the Honorable Vincent Del Giudice, a longtime member, past president of the club. He's a retired Supreme Court Justice in Kings County. He fought the good fight each and every day on the bench. He served as a prosecutor, he served as a defense attorney. He spent his life in the judicial system serving all of us, and throughout his career, he dispensed justice pursuant to the law, but most importantly, he's a Xaverian graduate. Sorry, dropped something on the floor. Next, we have our good friend, the Honorable Matthew Demick, the administrative judge for criminal matters in the Kings County Supreme Court, a recipient of too many awards to mention, one of the most respected jurists on the bench today. And we hear that, of course, from prosecutors and defense attorneys alike who have nothing but the highest regard for Judge Demick. Next, the Honorable Angela Iannacci, Associate Justice, New York Supreme Court, Appellate Division, Second Department. Also joining us, the Honorable Betsy Jean-Jacques, a New York City Civil Court judge who is an acting family court judge and the president of the Kings County Catholic Lawyers Guild. Former Supreme Court judge, a current surrogate of the County of Kings, the Honorable Bernard Graham. The Honorable Rhonda Ziomeda Tomlinson, a judge of the New York State Court of Claims and acting Supreme Court judge in Brooklyn. The Honorable Deneen Riviezzo, a judge of the New York State Court of Claims and an acting Supreme Court judge. Did I do that okay? Yes. Got it? All right. The Honorable Robert Miller, Associate Justice of the Appellate Division, Second Department. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jim Kerr, and once again, I am honored to serve as the Master of Ceremonies for this evening's event, the 125th anniversary dinner of the Cathedral Club of Brooklyn. And we'll begin with a nice round of applause for the officers, directors, and members of this wonderful organization. So our friends before you are already standing, but now it's time for you to rise as well as we call on Reverend Kevin Abels for our invocation. He is the pastor of Our Lady of Angels in Bay Ridge and also serves as the spiritual advisor to this great club. Father Abels, please join me at the podium for the invocation.
Let us pray. Lord God, as pilgrims of hope in this Jubilee year, we thank you for the many blessings bestowed upon this Cathedral Club of Brooklyn as we celebrate our 125th anniversary. We are most grateful for the presence and the action of the Holy Spirit, alive and at work in its members, benefactors, and all those who support the mission of this great Catholic organization in our city. With your help, O Lord, may we continue to live out our Catholic faith, advance Catholic interest in our city, promote the moral improvement of all its members, and so be your powerful witnesses in our world today. Bless our gathering tonight and the food that we will share together. May we be living signs of hope to all on our pilgrimage until that great and glorious day in which we will see you face to face in that eternal city where you are Lord forever and ever. Amen.
Please remain standing for our national anthem, which will be sung by Police Officer Amanda Santamaria.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, officer, and our friends from the NYPD. Please remain standing. We have a special treat for you. Our president's father-in-law, Dr. Frederick M. Schiavone, is going to perform the Ave Maria for us, accompanied by Xaverian's Amy Capolino on the piano. So, Doctor?
Maria, gratia plena, Ave Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus. Ave Maria. Ave Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, ora pro nobis, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunca et in hora mortis, in hora mortis nostrae, in hora mortis nostrae, in hora mortis nostrae. Ave Maria.
Thank you, Dr. Chavone. Thank you, Dr. Chavone. And Ms. Capellani, thank you so much. And you can sit down now. And we go from father-in-law to the president himself. It's time to introduce you to William Neri, the 2025 president of the Cathedral Club of Brooklyn. So if I can have your attention, I'd just like to tell you a little bit about him. He currently serves as the Deputy Director of Legal Training and as an Assistant District Attorney for the Kings County DA's office. So shh. He's responsible for coordinating formal trainings and continuing legal education programs, as well as lecturing on a variety of criminal law and procedural topics for the agency's attorneys. In addition, he is an adjunct professor of law at New York Law School, and prior to joining the legal profession, he served the people of New York City as a paramedic for the FDNY. The President Neary serves as a board member of the Kings County Criminal Bar Association, also a board member and CLE committee member for the Bay Ridge Lawyers Association, and is a member of the Colombian Lawyers Association of Brooklyn and the National Italian American Bar Association. He is a busy, busy guy. And here he is, the president of the Cathedral Club of Brooklyn.
Well, Jim Kerr, I want to thank you for that introduction and your years of support to this organization. You know, you have become our official MC throughout the years, and I couldn't imagine this dinner without you. Thank you. Father Abels, I also want to thank you for that wonderful invocation that you gave this evening. Your Excellencies, Bishop Brennan, Bishop DiMarzio, religious, clergy, honorees, distinguished dais, guests, but most importantly, friends all, good evening. I'm honored to stand here before you tonight as the president of the Cathedral Club for our 125th anniversary year. Personally and sincerely, I thank each and every one of you for coming tonight to share in this celebration, a celebration that has been 125 years in the making. And as you know, gala celebrations, especially of this magnitude, do not happen by chance. Many people put a lot of hard work into making tonight the auspicious occasion that it is, hopefully one that will be remembered for the next 125 years. First and foremost, I want to recognize and thank the staff here at the El Carib, one of the best venues, if not the best venue we could possibly be at in this world. I also want to extend my heartfelt thanks to my two dinner chairmen, Matthew McKeon Slattery and Pat Russo. Gentlemen, without you and your trusted counsel, this would not be possible tonight. I also want to thank Craig Eaton, our dais chairman, James McHugh for preparing the plaques that will be bestowed shortly. In addition, I want to thank the entire Board of Governors for all of their hard work and all of the members of the Cathedral Club for their assistance with this event. But there was outside help here tonight, and I want to thank specifically Joe Lapowski, the music director from Xaverian High School, a teacher of mine when I was there, along with the Xaverian student Amy Capellani, our pianist, who provided the musical accompaniment for my father-in-law to be able to perform the Ave Maria for us this evening. I, of course, want to thank my father-in-law for flying up from Florida to join us in this event and for performing the Ave Maria, which is a fitting tribute to Mary, the Mother of God, during this reverent celebration. I also want to extend my sincere appreciation to the NYPD's Pipers, the Color Guard, and Police Officer Santa Maria for her moving rendition of our national anthem. Finally, I would like to thank my family, especially my wife Maria, who's here this evening, for everything that she does. You know, if it wasn't for everything that Maria did, I couldn't dedicate my time and energy to this great organization and its charitable work of making Catholic education possible for the children who may not otherwise be able to enjoy such a quality education and the positive, life-altering effect that that education will have on them. At the risk of inadvertently missing anyone, to everyone, I say thank you. You have my most sincere gratitude and appreciation. Now, personally, I stand here in awe of 125 years of tradition, of history, and the great works of the Cathedral Club of Brooklyn, working hard to advance Catholic interests and promote moral improvement and to foster a true Catholic spirit. 125 years. What a history more than a century brings. In preparation for this evening, I looked over our list of past honorees, speakers, presidents, all that preceded us here this evening. And in addition, I looked at our current guest list for tonight. All that I can say as I stand here is that I am humbled. It's been said many times, and this is one of my favorite quotes, it's been said many times that we stand on the shoulders of the giants who have gone this way before us. Looking at the past 125 years of members, leaders, honorees, guests, and friends, we need an extension ladder to stand atop those proverbial shoulders. Now, as you may already know, especially if you spoke to me at all this evening, the key way that the Cathedral Club achieves its mission of advancing Catholic interest and promoting moral improvement is through supporting Catholic education, specifically Catholic high school education. Through our high school scholarship program, we assist kids in being able to attend the various Catholic high schools throughout the Brooklyn-Queens diocese. For anyone that knows me or has even spoken to me for more than 5 minutes, you know the value that I place on Catholic education. Probably because of my own life experience, I credit every good thing that happens in my life to being the product of a Catholic grade school and a Catholic high school education. Literally everything good in my life is the result of receiving a Catholic education. This is because in Catholic school, you learn more than just the 7 liberal arts and sciences. You learn more than just any STEM program can produce. Catholic education teaches the value and the responsibility of being a moral, upstanding person, one who contributes to, not takes from, society. And of course, you receive that excellent traditional education as well, but the end product is so much more than mere intellect. We know the difficulties associated with receiving a quality education. Look at all aspects of life. Prices keep going up. Necessities are more expensive every day, and education is no different. Personally, the tuition that my mother and my grandmother struggled so hard to pay for myself and my brother, who happens to be here tonight for our celebration, for myself and my brother's high school education, that amount, that tuition bill, has more than tripled over the last 25 years. It wasn't easy to afford back then, and it's no easier today. We are the products of Catholic education through the hard work of our family. My mother, for example, worked days for the New York City Department of Education, first as a paraprofessional, then as a teacher. And then she waitressed at night at a local Brooklyn diner, struggling to make every tuition payment. My grandmother worked as a matron on the school buses to try and make those tuition payments, just so we could have the wonderful opportunities that we enjoy today. And the struggle to secure that quality education, a guided education by an infallible moral compass, is the same experienced by countless other parents striving to do the best for their children. As I said, the price of Catholic school tuition continues to increase. That is how the Cathedral Club takes up its arms. And as I've said, our charity is the Scholarship Fund. Tonight, as a matter of fact, is our biggest event to support the fund. And you sitting here tonight are our biggest ally. Through your support and your generosity, coming tonight to share in this celebration, to support the honorees, you are directly supporting the children who receive these scholarships. I genuinely thank you. If you are unfamiliar with how our scholarship program works, we have a list of Catholic high schools throughout the Brooklyn-Queens diocese. We award a partial scholarship to a school each year on a rotating basis. That school identifies the recipient of the scholarship, and that recipient enjoys the assistance in their second, third, and fourth years of high school. At any given time, we have approximately a half dozen students receiving these scholarships. Now, although our scholarship distributions have remained somewhat constant for a long time, I am proud to announce that this year, the Board of Governors of the Cathedral Club increased the per student, per year distribution to almost double what was historically awarded. This June 5th, on our speakers' night and scholarship dinner, we will be awarding the increased scholarships for the first time. And I encourage you to join us at that event, especially if you've never been there in the past. Meet the recipients, meet the kids. See for yourselves who your generosity is helping. Literature about our upcoming events are being distributed tonight. Now, as you know, I could go on about Catholic education, but tonight is more than just about our scholarship program. Tonight we celebrate our history and look with anticipation to the future. Tonight, we also celebrate our distinguished honorees who typify what it means to live a life of Catholic values, a life of service to others. St. Francis said, "Preach the gospel. Use words when necessary." Well, that describes our honorees, preaching the gospel through their actions. They will be introduced shortly, and they're going to tell you about themselves, but I tell you right now that both are the products of Catholic education, Xaverian High School in particular. And they have dedicated their lives to the service of others. NYPD Chief John Schell to the people of this city through his tireless work serving and protecting the masses. He held literally every rank within the New York City Police Department. Joe Rosado, beginning as a court officer for the state of New York, assuring the safety of all those who sought justice from our hallowed halls. Then becoming an attorney, serving his clients, protecting them from abuse and injustice, placing their interests above his own. This is the result of Catholic education. Forming community-minded people of service and of action. This is the return on our investment every time we help a child through our scholarship program. Remember those proverbial giants I made mention of earlier? These two are giants, and they do not hesitate to lift up others to stand on their shoulders. Finally, I say to you, thank you. I cannot begin to articulate how appreciative I am that you are all here tonight. I wish you a wonderful evening, and I wish the Cathedral Club of Brooklyn another 125 years.
Folks, we do ask you to please silence your conversation and direct your attention towards your speakers at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, President Neary. It's an honor for me to introduce to you the Vice President of the Cathedral Club, Harry D'Onofrio, to recognize our past presidents, board members, and sponsors who are here with us this evening.
Good evening. Welcome here tonight to our festivities. And don't let Bill Neary kid you. Bill worked tirelessly to help us raise this scholarship. So again, we want to thank you all. We'd like to thank our sponsors, our benefactors, Barry Jacobson and Joseph P. Day Realty. We'd like to thank our VIPs, Abrams Fensterman, Columbia's Lawyers Association of Brooklyn, Connors and Sullivan, Corso Family Foundation, Shell Family, Maureen Moore and the family friends of Robert C. Golden, Vincent Iannelli and Iannelli Construction, Idala Bertuda Cammons PC, and the author Idala Power Hour, Avison Young, Bay Ridge Lawyers Association, Catholic Charities of Brooklyn and Queens, where my son works, D'Onofrio General Contractors, DeSales Media Group, Eaton and Toronzo LLP, Flagstar Bank. You hear your name, go ahead, you could applaud. Janie Montgomery Scott, Long and DeLosa, Joseph Murray Jr., Esquire and Associates, Mr. and Mrs. William A. Neary, Esquires, the New York City Police Foundation, Our Lady of Angels, Dr. Catherine Paradiso and Judge Vincent Del Giudice, Joseph S. Rosado, Pat and Joanne Russo, Xaverian High School. We'd like to thank our friends of Chief John Schell, Adam Kalish, Merriman, Makovitz and Lando, Casey Fuchs, the Silver Shield Foundation. We'd like to thank our donors, Antonio Biondi, Dominic Kama and the Kama Family Charitable Funds, Michael Furcas, Bill Guarinello, Alice and Frank Keating, Eileen Long, George Marlin, Paul L. Martin Charitable Trust, Andrew Rendiro, Esquire. And a special thanks to Greg Eaton, John Cahuli, Phil Kelly, Jim Kerr, Vincent, I got a guy, Lavien, IGG is right. Father Henry, you'll like this one. Everyone's favorite leprechaun, Brian Long, Jim McHugh, Christine Persichetti, Richard Ray, Joseph Rosado, and I'd like to recognize our past presidents in the room, Brian Baslin, Joe Bova, Roger Canal, Mark Cipolla, Martin Cottingham, Judge Vincent Del Giudice, Greg Eaton, John Cahuli, Jim Kelly, Vincent Lavien, Brian Long, Jim McHugh, George Prezioso, Richie Ray, and Pat Russo. I'd like to also recognize our board, Marty Golden, Bill Guarinello, Vincent Iannelli, and Joe Muri. And I'd like to recognize our officers, our very own Father Kevin Abels, our chaplain, Maureen McHugh, our recording secretary, and Matt McHugh Slattery. Thank you all and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very exciting program planned for you after dinner with a distinguished group of people that I'm sure you will enjoy hearing from. And being that our honorees are here with their friends and their colleagues and their families on a very special night, one that hopefully they will remember and be proud of forever, I'm sure that after dinner and after our conversation at the tables together over dinner, you will give them your close attention. At least I hope so. Dinner will be served any second now. And after dinner, we're going to bring up the bishop. All right? Enjoy your dinner. Talk to you soon.
My name is Deacon Kevin McCormick. I'm the superintendent of schools for the diocese, and it is a great privilege to once again be with you, but my time will only be for a few more seconds. Your support of Catholic schools, whether it be here with the Cathedral Club, in your own parish, giving to your own schools, is truly a tremendous thing. Because you see, as the President told us just a moment ago, we stand on the shoulders who've gone before us. There are many things I could say about one of our honorees, because he was my student many years ago, and I've gotten through therapy. But you see men that are honored here today, the men and women who are at these tables, you're the foundation of our church, you're the foundation of our schools. It's truly an honor to be with you, and I thank you for my sake, and also for the students and their parents for helping make Catholic schools what they need to be.
Thank you. The Reverend Mr. Deacon McCormick. Thank you so much. It is time for us to enjoy some moments with a man that needs no introduction. He's the Bishop of the Diocese of Brooklyn. Would you please welcome Robert J. Brennan.
Thank you. Thank you. You're very, very kind. Thank you. You know, 125 years, we find ourselves at an important milestone. On a day like this, I think back to those days at the threshold into the 20th century when a growing population of immigrants in Brooklyn banded together and came together as Catholics and said, how do we support one another in the living out of our faith in the rough and rugged land of Brooklyn at those times? And you know something? They pulled it off. They pulled it off in a wonderful way. One of the reasons why I'm so glad that Father Bruno is here, he's a church historian, but he knows Brooklyn. So we're going to have some very interesting and fun recollections of our Cathedral Club. But you see, that's the job of the people in the Cathedral Club in the 1900s, the early 1900s, is not unlike our job today. We're trying to live out our faith with integrity, with goodness, with justice, building solidarity with one another and with those who are most in need among us. A new generation of immigrants who are building up our church. We stand in solidarity with one another. Congratulations to our honorees. We're so proud of you, and we thank you. Thank you for taking this honor, for accepting this honor. I'm always so proud to stand alongside of Bishop DiMarzio. Bishop DiMarzio, thank you for being with us today and for all you've done for the Cathedral Club and for the Diocese of Brooklyn and Queens. Thanks to all of you for your presence. And if we look at what it means to be able to live out our faith in authentic ways, it starts at the beginning. So thank you for your support for Catholic education. You are making a profound difference. God bless you. Enjoy this evening. We have a great treat for you.
And now I would like to introduce you to our honoree, NYPD Chief of Department, the Honorable John M. Schell. The Chief's career with the NYPD started in 1994. He worked in precincts throughout Brooklyn. In 2000, he was promoted to detective, received the Medal of Valor. He continued to rise through the ranks, and in 2019, with 25 years of dedicated service, he was promoted to Deputy Chief and assigned to oversee Detective Bureau Brooklyn South, followed by Detective Bureau Brooklyn North in 2021. But in the summer of 2022, Chief Schell was made the Executive Officer of the Patrol Services Bureau, and by the end of the year, he was promoted to Chief of Patrol. Now, while there, he governed 8 patrol bureaus comprising 78 police precincts with 15,000 uniformed and 3,000 civilian members of the service, the largest of any bureau. He assisted in the creation of Compliance Stat and the Community Response Team, and now with over 30 years of experience driving down crime in New York City, he is the Chief of Department and took office during a New Year's Eve ceremony in Times Square. This is a public servant who wakes up every single morning and goes to work to perform one of the most difficult and most important jobs in all of law enforcement. He's a lifelong New York City resident, born in Brooklyn. He moved to Staten Island in 2015. Another graduate of the same high school as half the room. Another Zavarian guy. And he earned a bachelor's degree from St. Joseph's College, where he majored in organizational management. His rock has always been his wife, Stephanie, with whom he shares 4 beautiful children. Would you please welcome, and we are very pleased to have him here, Chief Schell.
Wow. I got to say, left side of the room, big improvement down there with the noise. Big improvement. Good evening, everyone. This is truly amazing. As most of you that know me, I'm very shy to the cameras and the microphone, and I'm here to report that I'm still on Twitter probation, so I'll be posting nothing. And Bishop, extremely humbled to follow you, and I got to confess, my appearances in confession have been lacking, but I'm truly going to try to correct this. But is Artie Aidala here? Yeah, because your confessions are lacking also, so we're going to get this corrected. It's truly humbling to stand before you tonight as the honoree at this special 125th anniversary dinner. To be recognized by an organization that has upheld and celebrated the very values that have guided me throughout my life: faith, service, integrity, and community. It is an honor beyond words, and this day is here. A lot of academia back here. I truly don't belong up here, but we'll get to that later. I want to begin by expressing my deepest gratitude to the Cathedral Club, Bishop Brennan, President Neary, and his dedicated team for this incredible recognition. Thank you for your leadership and the role you play to continue to play in strengthening the faith, the fellowship of the Catholic professionals across this great city. There are so many people I want to thank for their support, not just tonight, but throughout this journey I've taken. Because, none of us walk this path alone. I don't care who you are. I certainly would not be standing here without the unwavering love, encouragement, and guidance I've received from those around me and so many people in this room, too many to mention. I'd like to just give a couple shout-outs to my cousin Joseph Corso and his wife Lisa and the Corso Foundation. Thank you for coming and supporting me. Truly, greatly appreciated. To Roseanne Branda, the great attorney from Brooklyn. Abrams and Fensterman, I got it. Thank you for your continued support. Please don't listen to Mike Gerber, but he does keep me constitutionally correct. I'm not allowed to work in a gray area, off limits. To my colleagues at Table 37, Susan Birnbaum, sponsor table, CEO of the Police Foundation. Thank you, Kaz. An organization that's been committed to partnership with New York City, giving us funding for our initiatives to help partner us to keep this the safest and greatest city in the world. I also want to thank Vincent Levion. I was going to say Levine, but I caught that later on, Levine. All right, thank you. Director of External Affairs for the Diocese of Brooklyn, sitting at table, I think, 27. Arthur Aidala of Aidala, Bertuda, and Caymans. Hardy. Yes, sir. I just want to thank you. And truly, everyone else here tonight, thank you. Your backing truly helps me move forward in my personal and professional life. To my fellow honoree, Joseph Rosado, congratulations to you for everything that you've accomplished, that culminated with you being here tonight. Thank you. It's my pleasure to receive this honor here with you. And a fellow Severian alumni. He didn't make the board. We'll talk about that later to the Severian down there. When I first thought about the words and thoughts I was going to share tonight, I was talking to Bill, it really came to me really quick. I guess if people want to know from me, and they often ask me, and probably ask many of you here, is how did you make it? And think about to yourselves, how did you make it to the upper echelons of your profession? Was this your goal? What does it take? Really, what does it really take? So think about that for a second. I guess the simple answer is hard work. And I tell you right now, if you walked up to my son Kyle right here, and you asked him what happens when you work hard and he didn't know you, he would not, without hesitation, tell you that good things will happen. I told him that from a very, very young age. And like so many of you in this room, I was raised in a Catholic household, but the faith was just not something we practiced on Sundays. It was the foundation of who we were. The foundation was laid early for me. That's right, at St. Patrick Parish. I know some of the salespeople in here. And reinforced by education at Severian High School. Beyond schooling and church activities, I would be remiss if I didn't mention CYO basketball and Severian Clipper basketball, where I was taught quite simply, loyalty is everything. At that time in my life, many foundational principles were fortified and have stayed with me forever. But when I was reading my speech, fortified, I'm going to say partially fortified. So this is my first confession of the night. President Elise's here. I call him Coach. He was my freshman coach. And Deacon McCormack is here. I'm sorry what I did to you, but we got through it. We got through it. I took my Regents chemistry in junior year, and only 4 people passed. I was one of the 4. I got a 72. The guy next to me got a 73. I don't know how to say this. What's my legal counsel? The statutes. I'm good, right? I'm good? All right. And I was one of the 4 that passed, and I didn't get caught, but my parents like, you don't even know what H2O is. And then beyond that, just a great story I like to tell. I played basketball at Severian, just an honor, and to play high school basketball in the city of New York, and Tariq Cardinal Hayes, we'll talk about that later. You had to be able to play. And Coach Picola, who's not here, him and I will, Coach Elise's here, Jack's here. Jack knows he had to kind of do therapy for us. Coach and I were, oil and water a little bit. And we played at Severian. It's a Severian Brothers School in Boston, for those of you that know. And I went up to Boston and I played, and I played pretty well. And I came back that Tuesday, first day in practice, and Coach goes, hey, what's up, Coach? He goes, NYU called. I said, ooh, NYU, what they want? They want to know what your status was. I go, I'm available. And then he goes, yeah, but they asked another question. I go, what was that? They wanted to know, what did you get on your SATs? And right then and there was a problem. So I said, Coach, what'd you tell him? He said, I told him 800. I go, 800, huh? What did they say? They said, was that math or verbal? And thus I went to Manhattanville College, +4, graduated from St. Joe's. No, look, all kidding aside, Catholic education, teaches more than academics and instills discipline, humility, respect, and a sense of service. Values that have shaped my life in ways I could not fully understand as a young man, but became the guiding principle throughout my career. It's the same faith that has carried me through a 31-year journey in NYPD. From the early days is walking a footpost in each Flatbush 6-7 precinct, standing proud before you today as NYPD's Chief of Department. Some of you here in law enforcement know it's a calling, one that demands strength, resilience, and sacrifice. Over the past 3 decades, I've faced challenges that tested my resolve, moments of hardship that weighed heavily on my heart, and decisions that carried great responsibility. Through it all, my faith has been my compass. Faith taught me humility, to recognize that leadership is not about titles or ranks, it's about the service to others. It gave me courage to step in the unknown, to face danger, make difficult decisions with a sense of purpose. It reminded me of compassion, that behind every statistic, every crime report, every headline is a person, a family, a community in need of help, and that's what we do in the NYPD. My faith reinforced my favorite word, my family knows, accountability. Knowing at the end of the day, my actions and my integrity are what define me. And last but not least, I mentioned before, there's a sign in my office. Everyone knows where it is. Well, not my new office yet, my old office. It was outside the wall. Quite frankly, loyalty is everything to me. Loyalty is everything. Let's be clear, though, nothing replaces hard work, bottom line. For me, second place was never good enough. Always play like a champion when given the opportunity. Lastly, for the young people in the room, love what you do. It just makes life so much easier. I've been with the NYPD for 30 years, like I stated, and I loved every day of it, and I still do. Can't say it any other way. There have been times in my career where I've questioned how much difference one person can actually make. But the time, again, I've been reminded that the smallest acts of kindness, the quietest moments of leadership, and the steadfast commitment to doing what is right are the things that truly matter. And that is why the Cathedral Club is so important, because it continues faith to remind us that faith and public service go hand in hand. I'd like to take a moment now to thank those who have supported me along the way, because without them, without you, without a lot of people in this room, I'm not standing here right now. To my NYPD colleagues, past and present, thank you for your dedication, for standing by my side, and for your commitment to protecting and serving this great city. At the end of the day, you know what I'm going to say, you're only as good as your team. And I truly realize most times, as my team is here, over there, and a few other places, my team will tell you, most days I'm an absolute train wreck. To my dear friends, some of whom have been with me for 40 years, Kevin, Catherine over here, your loyalty, your honesty, your ability to keep me humble mean more to me than I can ever express. My 4 good friends could be here tonight, but I'll name them anyway. They took an ad out, $1,000. They were going crazy. They go, pay the $1,000. Kevin, Glenn, Tommy, Sean, Double J, and Gavin, I love you guys. To my extended family, friends, and community members, thank you for your continued warm wishes and support throughout my career. To my family, right there, some aren't here, but your patience, understanding, and sacrifice have allowed me to devote my life to this profession. To my children, Kyle, Olivia, Anthony, and Gianna, you inspire me every day, and you don't know it. Take the lessons you have learned from me, make them your own, and always strive to be better. Thank you for holding up your responsibilities in your young lives while allowing me to be successful in my career. Love you guys. Lastly, the most important person, and I'll be first to admit, when she met me, she hit lotto. Let me just drink it in, drink it in. The most important person in my life has made this all possible. The person who is the matriarch of this family, and the person who always puts others' needs ahead of her own, so no one wants for anything. My wife, Stephanie. She wrote this line, by the way. No, I'm kidding. Your love and support, your unwavering belief in me has carried me through challenges and every triumph. I love you always. And as I look around this room tonight, I see a community quite clearly bound by faith, by service, and by a shared commitment to something greater than themselves and ourselves. The Cathedral Club has been a beacon of these values for 125 years. 125 years. I have no doubt it will continue to inspire for future generations. Thank you once again, everyone, for this incredible honor. May God bless all of you, and may you continue to watch over our city, our communities, and our NYPD. I leave you with a favorite quote of mine from fictional General Maximus Decimus Meridius, 1992, Gladiator. Strength and honor to all of you. Good night and thank you.
Chief, don't go anywhere. You got to get your picture taken with the president and the bishop.
Well done, Johnny.
Okay. Thank you so much. Wow. Get the bishop in there. Okay, that was fun. Although I'm still trying to figure out why everybody started to laugh when I mentioned that the chief moved to Staten Island. Chief, when I mentioned you moved to Staten Island, the whole room laughed. What was the deal?
We're moving on.
All right, our second honoree is a distinguished trial attorney and is the founding member of the Rosado firm PC, specializing in all types of personal injury and complex litigation matters and providing trial services to the legal community. He is admitted to the bars in New York and New Jersey, the U.S. District Court of New Jersey, the U.S. District Courts for the Eastern and Southern Districts of New York, as well as the Supreme Court of the United States. His experience also includes 11 years in the New York State court system, where he held positions as a court officer, court clerk, and associate court clerk to Supreme Court justices. You began your career as a court officer, right? Mr. Rosado is especially proud of his Catholic upbringing, instilled in him by his parents and parochial schooling. He is especially honored to serve as chairman of the board at Catholic Migration Services of the Diocese of Brooklyn, which provides legal assistance and outreach to immigrant communities in Brooklyn and Queens. He's a past president of the Catholic Lawyers Guild of Kings County, past president of the Brooklyn Bar Association and Foundation, past president of the Colombian Lawyers Association of Brooklyn, and a past president and current master in the Kings County Inn of Court, which provides continuing legal education to the bench and bar. He's been married to his lovely wife, Fran, for 42 years and is blessed with his 2 children, Lauren and Nick, and their growing families, including his amazing 2-year-old granddaughter, Emma Lucille. So, would you please welcome our special honoree this evening, Joseph Rosado.
Thank you. Thank you all. Please have a seat. I just want to make sure everybody in the back can hear me, right? We're all okay? All right. Shh. If you give me just a few minutes, we're going to get back to the rest of the program, but I want to tell you a little bit about what some of the things we do. I obviously want to thank all of you for attending. It's wonderful the support that you give to, obviously, this tremendous organization. Chief Chell, what could I tell you? You tremendous career. Thank you for what you do for all of us. Thank your family for letting him do all that for all of us. And congratulations tonight on your honor. I also want to thank Bill Neary, Pat Russo, Craig Eaton, and of course, everyone else on the Board of Governors for all you do for the Cathedral Club of Brooklyn. It really is a tremendous organization that does some very good work. The Cathedral Club plays an extremely important role in supporting and promoting Catholic morals in our young ones and in our communities. I am a product of a Catholic school education. I did attend St. Athanasius School, Grammar School, and Severian High School. I graduated in 1979. Many of my teachers at Severian could not be here tonight, and you can guess why. I'm sure they would have wanted to come and support, but they just couldn't make it. And if you can imagine, in grammar school, I might have acted out a bit too much in my early years, but my Catholic school lay teachers and the nuns that taught us were able to keep me on track in their kind and somewhat stern manner. It was a good learning environment, and I want to tell you why I think it was. It was because it was a safe environment. Catholic school provided an opportunity to learn and feel safe even though you weren't at home. A Catholic education was invaluable for my life, and my wife and I were able and fortunate to provide that to our children. Not everyone can do that today, and that is why the mission of the Cathedral Club is so very important. You know, while I attended St. A's, just going to ask you to close the door if those people want to talk. It's okay, close the door. When I attended St. A's, there were 3 classes in every grade with 40 students in each class. Today, that same grammar school has only 1 class in each grade and anywhere from 20 to 25 students in each class. That has to improve. And whether it's advising people and guiding them to how important a Catholic education is, or whether it's through foundations such as the Cathedral Club to help support those families who cannot afford it. Shh. It is very important, the opportunities that we've all had, and to try to get that same Catholic education for others. I'm fortunate to have my sister Donna and her husband John here this evening. Thank you for attending, of course. Our mom, who is 90 years old, and many of you know her, is unwillingly at home, but she's at home, but she sends her wishes. I am so thankful for my brothers and sisters at the Columbian Lawyers of Brooklyn, the Bay Ridge Lawyers of Brooklyn, the Catholic Lawyers Guild, and the many, many judges and lawyers who are here this evening to support me, but also to support this organization. But I have to tell you, my family is much larger than the household I grew up in. It's made up of the community of people whom we interact with each day, who remind us how fortunate we are and how blessed we are to have them in our lives. Despite our very busy lives, it's important to find the time and to make the effort to pay that blessing forward. Even the smallest of effort can make an impact to another in need. When asked by friends why I volunteer for a particular committee or get involved in this organization, such as the Catholic Migration Services, which I serve as chair, I often joke and tell them that I'm trying to knock a few days off from purgatory. I'm still not quite sure I'm on the plus side yet. But the satisfaction of helping someone less fortunate or giving to others in thanks for the good fortune that you may have, well, isn't that exactly what it means to be Catholic? I call that feeling the magic of Catholicism, but it's an important feeling and a good one to have. As Chief Charles said, I join in that. No one walks this earth alone. If you want to truly make a positive difference in the lives of others, you must enlist others in that quest. I call those people in my life the St. Gregories. That's Gregory Cercione and Gregory Laspina. And people like my dear friend Matt Demick, Father Patrick Keating, and of course Judge Frank Sedio. Whether it's an organization that needs support, community outreach, or just an individual in need of some guidance, these people never say why, they only ask, what's the plan? That's how you pay it forward. I want to thank my amazing wife of 42 years, Fran, for the incredible family we have, and for the wonderful life you have given us, and especially for your patience and kindness for the many antics we somehow get into. I'm not as charismatic as Chief, but you know, he was fantastic, I have to tell you. But I also want to thank Bishop Brennan and Bishop DiMarzio. Bishop Brennan, I thank you for your leadership, your spiritual guidance, and your prayers, and especially for allowing me to serve our community. You're not going to look into that purgatory stuff, are you? Okay. I am honored to be part of the rich tradition of the Cathedral Club, the honorees and speakers who have done great things in their life. So let me give you a little bit of history, not 125 years worth, I promise. There was a speaker one year from a senator from Massachusetts. His name was John F. Kennedy. There was another honoree who happened to be Secretary of State of New York. His name was Mario Cuomo. There was a cardinal named Cardinal O'Connor, who was both an honoree and a speaker at the same dinner. Each have done tremendous things. And our own Bishop DiMarzio was an honoree twice. So, Each have accomplished so many tremendous things after being either an honoree or a speaker for this wonderful organization. So, Chief Chell, good news. We ain't done yet. There's a lot more we're going to do. So get ready. We'll see what our next gig brings us. Thank you all for this recognition, and God bless each of you. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our principal speaker this evening. Father Michael Bruno is a priest of the Diocese of Brooklyn, ordained on June 26, 2010, who serves as the Dean of Seminarians, Director of Institutional Effectiveness, and the Cardinal Spellman Chair of Church History at St. Joseph's Seminary and College in Yonkers, New York. The son of Rosalie and the late Michael Bruno, he grew up in the St. Rosalia Regina. You know, I worried about all of these pronunciations for the longest time in Brooklyn. He's another Zavarian guy, currently serves on the Board of Trustees. He received his licentiate in church history, and in 2014, his doctorate in sacred theology at the Pontifical Lateran University in Rome. His dissertation, Political Augustinianism. No, but that was good, wasn't it?
Yep.
You know, right there.
Excellent. You got A+.
Contemporary Interpretations of Augustine's Political Thought was later published by Fortress Press. He's published articles and reviews in various journals, especially on the theology and interpretation of St. Augustine of Hippo. In addition to his seminary duties, he has served for the past decade as Censor Librorum for the Diocese of Brooklyn. He's also served as president of the Historical Commission for the cause of canonization of Monsignor Bernard Quinn, and at the request of Timothy Cardinal Dolan, served in that same role in the cause of Servant of God Dorothy Day. Prior to joining the faculty, Father Bruno ministered as parochial vicar of St. Luke Church in Whitestone and is currently weekend assistant at St. Edmund's Church in Sheepshead Bay. He assists also in the Italian apostolate of the diocese, especially at St. Francis of Assisi in Astoria. He is one busy guy. So would you please welcome our principal speaker for the evening, Reverend Michael J.S. Bruno.
Your Excellency, Bishop Brennan, Your Excellency, Bishop DiMarzio, Your Excellency, Bishop Cisneros, Your Excellency, and your Reverend Monsignors, Fathers, and Deacons, our distinguished honorees, Chief John Chell and Mr. Joseph Rosato. I promise you the Severian conspiracy was not real, but I'm proud to stand with my fellow X-Men on this dais. Distinguished officers, members of the Cathedral Club, and welcome guests, and certainly our honored dais. Of course, ending an evening with church history is just what everyone wanted, I'm sure. But as I tell the seminarians, a day without history is a day without sunshine. Although the sun didn't shine today, so don't remind me of that. I have to say, looking at the list of past speakers, I have taken the words of the centurion in Matthew's gospel to my own. Non sum dignus. I am not worthy. But I'm most grateful for Bishop Brennan's invitation and the opportunity to address you this evening on the 125th anniversary of this distinguished club. and I was asked just to trace with you a bit of the providential journey of this organization, to demonstrate especially how this organization has not just built up the local church of Brooklyn, but in fact has helped to shape the Catholic Church in the United States as a whole. Now, while this might seem like historical navel-gazing or some antiquarian exercise, it's far from it. It's the recognition, my friends, that this organization, even before the Second Vatican Council, embodied the call of laymen and women to live their call of baptism in the world, in public life, and indeed to follow the universal call to holiness. So no surprise that the experience of our predecessors also, as I might trace this history, might bear some resemblance to our own day, especially in this year of Jubilee. Perhaps we can recommit to what one 1871 journalist called building up this earnest Catholic Diocese of Brooklyn on fire with the Holy Spirit. So, my friends, why a club? Why 1900? Just as we experienced numerous historical transitions, we could think of, for instance, Y2K, right, in 2000. 1900 was an important moment. Catholics, especially in Kings County, came of age. A third of Brooklyn's soldiers in the Union cause had Irish and German Catholic roots. They had helped to hold Washington, D.C. after Bull Run. They had charged the Sunken Road in Antietam. They had famously held Wheatfield at Gettysburg. The Irish Brigade alone, the Fighting 69th, by the end of the war, had been refilled 4 times and suffered more casualties than all but 6 of the 2,000 regiments of the Union Army. The mostly Irish Catholic 14th Regiment left Brooklyn 1,100 strong. It returned by the end of the Civil War with 147 surviving members. German Catholics from Brooklyn filled the ranks of the 22nd and 54th Volunteer Regiments, as well as Company A of the 3rd Infantry. Brooklyn Catholics served with distinction as officers. Colonel James Edward Mallon, who after serving in both Antietam and Gettysburg, was killed in action at Briscoe Station, Virginia, and brought home to Brooklyn, laid to rest not far from here at Holy Cross Cemetery. So when we talk about standing on the shoulders of giants, these Catholic patriots returned home to establish themselves, to become, and their children to become, lawyers, police officers, physicians, educators, financiers, business owners in the nation which they helped to preserve and for which they had shed their blood. To advance their interests of their faith and their fellow Catholics in the public square, new societies and organizations were established. The Emerald Association, which, by the way, would meet in the Cathedral Club headquarters for much of its history. The Ancient Order of Hibernians, the Ladies' Catholic Benevolent Association, the Knights of Columbus. Each sought to plant the faith in the nation that they had defended, cultivate social bonds amongst themselves, and work for charitable aims in support of the immigrant diocese that extended from Montague Street to Montauk. The recently ordained chancellor of the diocese and secretary to Bishop Charles MacDonald, Father George Mundelein, recognized a particular need to engage Catholic young adults. These now children of those Civil War veterans. They were entering society and public life in a century now fraught with political and social controversy, and often finding their doors closed to opportunities in their professions of choice. Mundelein, by the way, could relate well. He was the grandson of a Civil War veteran who had lost his life, his maternal grandfather killed in battle during the Civil War. He knew the success of our brothers and sisters in the Episcopalian Church. Their Cathedral Club since the 1880s, was successful. It, in fact, was on Madison Street and Bedford Avenue. And he saw the opportunity for the Catholic Church in Brooklyn to engage young people and cultivate a Catholic social and intellectual life, spanning political and, in fact, professional spheres. Another organization allied to the Cathedral Club would be the Catholic Dentists Guild. I don't know if there are any dentists here. The Catholic Dentists Guild would meet in the headquarters for much of their history. Beginning at St. John Chapel on Claremont and Green, the first president of, indeed, the Cathedral Club was Lewis Drummond. Drummond was the son of former Secret Service Chief Andrew Lewis Drummond, who had protected Presidents Harrison and Cleveland. He was elected, in fact, Lewis Drummond, with a slate of officers in 1900. With their first club on Jefferson Avenue, the first activities of this young club were what? Sports, intramurals. In fact, I heard we're going to have a track tryout right after dinner. Billiards, pinochle, which Cardinal Mundelein was quite skilled at. Bowling and track. In fact, the future auxiliary bishop, Raymond Carney, and his siblings would bowl for the Cathedral Club on its traveling team. The first advertised public affair of this club was on November 22nd, 1900. It was a euchre tournament and a dance held under the watchful eye of Bishop McDonald himself at the Pouch Mansion on 345 Clinton Avenue. The prizes that night for the ladies included a set of bread and butter dishes, opera glasses and gloves, while the men competed for a pipe, glass tobacco, water jug, and corkscrew. As you could tell, inflation has affected more than just currency. Whenever Catholics are holding a good party, undoubtedly, as the Brooklyn Eagle reported, quote, many clergymen were present watching the progress of the games. All it takes is some good food and we'll be there, I promise you. Now, whether some of them played a few hands of cards is not mentioned, but indeed, this quickly growing club needed a bigger space. And so, in fact, it would find that space on Vanderbilt and Green Avenues. And to help afford the move, in winter 1902, it sponsored the first ever barn dance held in Brooklyn, perhaps an idea for next year. Once again at the Pouch Mansion, a hayloft, however, was set up, and farming instruments were scattered throughout the venue, minus the livestock. The big debate of the night, recorded in the papers, was whether there should be a well and bucket of lemonade or water. The former was chosen because, as the Daily Eagle made clear, a well of lemonade is seldom encountered in the country. Men were to report in duck trousers and dark coats, the ladies in similar country wear to resemble city folk who are temporarily staying in the country. Now we just call them residents of Staten Island. Sorry, Chief. These social activities, however, would soon be transformed by a graver purpose. In 1917, the Cathedral Club saw 45 of its members go to Europe during the First World War. Fundraisers were held to support these troops, and in fact, the Knights of Columbus, who were providing for Catholic soldiers throughout Europe. The club raised in January 1917 alone $1,500, which today would be $31,500 in 1 month from young professionals to support their comrades in arms. Already the generous and charitable spirit that you all embody was present in this organization. What we're doing tonight actually stems from the 25th anniversary of the club. Its first gala was held in 1925. Because indeed, in 25, the Hotel St. George was rented out in Manhattan to welcome 1,500 guests honoring the now Cardinal George Mundelein, who had become Archbishop of Chicago and a year before a member of the Sacred College. Mayor William Collins would speak out that night against the Catholic activities of the Ku Klux Klan, who were active in accosting Catholics throughout Long Island. The mayor assured that if a man is a good Catholic, he must be a good American. In fact, Our own Monsignor Bernard Quinn would see his orphanage burned down twice in Wading River, New York, serving African American children, only the third time to build it back in brick so that it would not go anywhere anymore. Political figures would seek out the Cathedral Club as a chance to engage Catholic voters and Catholics in public life. And it's not a coincidence that there are so many members of the bar here, because indeed the first Catholics to serve prominently in the state and federal judiciary from Brooklyn were mostly members of the Cathedral Club. Prominent attorneys like John Kuhn, Edward Connolly, William Moyles, who also founded the Catholic Lawyers Guild in Brooklyn. Leo Hickey, who in 1934 was appointed by President Roosevelt U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York. And Mayor William O'Dwyer, New York City's 100th mayor, elected Brooklyn District Attorney first in 1939, and mayor later in 1946, was a member of the club. No surprise that members of, in fact, the political class, mayors, governors, justices, congressmen, senators, vice presidents, two future presidents, Kennedy and Johnson, would address this club. But why? Because laying out domestic and foreign policy concerns was one thing, but this organization is a way to speak to Catholic members of the electorate, both locally and nationally. And for over a century, the microphone of this gala has amplified the issues of U.S. war efforts, the threats of the Cold War, civil rights, Catholic education, urban planning, national social and economic reform, and most especially, the important role of Catholics in public life. Might I suggest that the members of the Cathedral Club, that you are recipients of a profound legacy of faith and leadership. The Second Vatican Council made clear in its decree on the apostle of the laity that in your professions and daily responsibilities, you are called to both promote the common good and at the same time prepare the way of the gospel. I would assert to you that Cardinal Mundeleин's vision for this club has not been confirmed just by prominent political and ecclesial leaders that have addressed it. It's been confirmed because you, its membership, are carrying out a proud legacy of bringing what he called the Catholic spirit to public and intellectual life, in service and leadership to the diocese, to the community, to the nation. Our honorees are emblematic of that. Mundelein responded to the need he saw of connecting his own generation and their children to the practice of the faith and to each other. My friends, let the practice of the faith especially continue to impel us in our work each day. In this Jubilee year of 2025, dedicated to hope, the Cathedral Club is being invited to look around again, to find in the midst of an often disparate and fragmented culture ways of reconnecting Catholic young people coming of age today to their faith and to each other, promoting a Catholic spirit in public life. This is what the council, which was called for and which is made clear, continues in your promotion of the common good, in your preparation of the way of the gospel in the circumstances of daily life. So as we mark this 125th year, my prayer is that the press will not comment on whether there should be a well of lemonade or water, like that wild barn dance in 1902. But another speaker will stand here at a future anniversary gala and remark how the Cathedral Club in this era built up the church in this diocese, helped to serve the most needy and vulnerable in our midst, and so led others to drink, not from a well of lemonade, but that spring of living water that wells up to eternal life, who is Jesus Christ, our Lord. God bless you all.
Father Bruno, stay here. We got to give you a plaque. Got it? Okay, I need your attention for just a couple of more minutes here. We'd like to thank you all so much for attending tonight, this 125th anniversary dinner of the Cathedral Club. I'd like to thank all the clergy in attendance for coming this evening and all that you do for our parishioners. Also, we have so many wonderful people here from the New York City Police Department as well, who put their lives on the line for us every single day. Now, as we bring this evening to an end, I know dessert is being served and coffee as well, and yes, it would be really nice, a black coffee for me, please. As dessert and coffee are being served, it is time for us to stand up one more time for this evening's benediction, and we would like you to very warmly welcome our wonderful friend and servant of the people of this diocese, Bishop Emeritus Nicholas DiMarzio.
My good friends, as we come together tonight, as we conclude this evening, we thank the Lord God for all the blessings we have received during this celebration, having met old friends and coming together again. This annual Cathedral Club dinner has become for most of us a highlight of the year. For 125 years, this club, founded on the principle that faith should enhance our political involvement and that partisanship should not divide us, has been our watchword. We are pleased to have once more celebrated again our unity in this organization, dedicated to bringing the Church's moral principles to the public forum. May we dedicate this evening with your blessing, Lord. Strengthen us and our resolves to enhance our democracy, especially that we recognize we need to care for the least among us. And we ask this blessing through Christ our Lord. Amen. Amen. Safe home. God bless you.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go to work. If you're up at 5, I'll say hi to you again then. Have a safe trip home, and thank you for coming tonight.
Chantilly lace and a pretty face, ponytail hanging down, a wiggle in the walk and a giggle in the talk. Lord, made the world go round. Ain't nothing in the world like a big-eyed girl to make me act so funny, make me spend my money, make me feel real loose, like a long-necked goose and like a girl. Oh, baby, that's what I like. We have some things in it. Chantilly lace and a pretty face, ponytail hanging down, a wiggle in the walk and a giggle in the talk. Lord, made the world go round. Ain't nothing in the world like a big-eyed girl to make me act so funny, make me spend my money, make me feel real loose, like a long-necked goose and like a girl. Oh, baby,